The Boston Butchers hit the ring to face off against the Phoenix Fury in a fight packed with power, speed, and non-stop action. Don't miss this epic Team Boxing League showdown.
Welcome to Boston, Massachusetts. Tonight, the Boston Butchers hosting the Phoenix Fury, our final matchup of TBL week number 2. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Bontempo. Welcome to the capper for a very interesting and exciting week 2 in the TBL. I'm with my pal, Al Bernstein. Glad that you're with us. And Al, you noticed something very interesting about the rosters of these teams.
Yeah, intriguing. You know, the Boston Butchers are returning a lot of the boxers that they saw last year on the roster, but the Phoenix Fury will be having a totally different look. There are 9 boxers on their roster who are making their debut in the Team Boxing League, so we're going to find out tonight whether the new kids on the block or the veterans get their way.
So there is an overhaul in the lineup, which we often see early in the season, but they will be sprinkled in with a few veterans who will lead. Yeah,
that's for sure. And that gives us the key players in this tonight, the key fighters that you want to watch. Charles Pugh for the Phoenix Fury, who is 20-1, a big man in the Team Boxing League, a big man who really can fight. And Raiko Santana, who comes into this season off a big upset on a pay-per-view over Steven Nelson, a surprise win for him. And then Brenda Cardenas Hernandez, who could be the anchor for the women in the Phoenix Fury team. Now, for the Boston Butchers, Skylar Lacey, one of the top heavyweights in the league, and he's always fun to watch. Rashidi Ellis, who is a top 10 fighter in boxing and just doesn't know how to lose in team boxing. And J.A. Brown, who is a 17-5 record, and he is a fighter who is just a very solid team boxing contestant. So some good players and boxers to watch.
So we will have a very unique concept here, always getting new people. The rules of it are 24 one-round fights. We have the launch rounds, the middle rounds, and the money rounds, 8 each. The coaches have a lot to say with the juggling in the money rounds. So it goes right like that. And what caught your eye about our round to watch in the launch round?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at round 8, which includes Lacey in that fight, and also one of the newcomers for for Phoenix, and that is Dante Stone, who has a 21-2 record as a professional boxer, and he, I think, is perceived as quite a catch for that team.
All right, we are delighted to have one of our best pals with us, Amelia Moore, who last night in Boston captured the NABF Lightweight Championship, and now she is here as our ringside reporter tonight, as she was last year, doing such a great job. Amelia, great to see you. Hey, do you have that belt?
Hey, standing here, ready. I am so happy to be talking to you guys. Al, Dave, it is great to be back on the scene with TBL. Tonight's going to be such an explosive night. The last 2 teams to be showcased in the first 2 weeks. Let's get it.
We are ready to go with that, Amelia. And I don't know if you're able to see, they're showing some of the footage from your bout last night. And by the way, I had you ahead by 5 rounds, but they said, how could that be true? The fight didn't start yet. So maybe a little bias on my part, but nonetheless, hey, you had a great night. Take us through it.
Awesome night. It's all about performance, right? You know, you take away all the experience that you get. I had a great amateur career, took away so much experience from my time with TBL, and it all plays a part in it, right? You get, the more that you see, the more that you're able to be exposed to, and then nothing surprises you anymore, and you're ready, and there's no anxiety. So had an amazing night last night, was able to answer any question that was presented, came home with the win, with a dominant performance. I'm just very happy with the performance. And you know, onward and upward, and let's see what comes next. As soon as I heal from this hand injury, let's not talk about it.
That's right. Now, you down with the fighters. You have such a great rapport with them. We'll be hearing from you throughout the show. What are your storylines? What are you looking at tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have so many awesome fighters. Camila Panada, she went for a world title against Caroline Dubois, who was the WBC champ at 135. Dante Stone, you mentioned earlier, you know, he was a semifinalist in the Grand Prix for the WBC. That's a huge tournament and such a great opportunity. And then, you know, we have several others. Tierra Brandt, she performed in front of 60,000 spectators out in Cambodia for their New Year's festival. So, and came home with the win. There's so much going on with our athletes. They're big stars, they're big talents, and we're going to hear more from them later tonight.
All right, thanks, Amelia. We'll be hearing from you a lot throughout the show. You have to admire that, holding a belt with a busted hand.
Yeah.
Admire that a lot. Well, listen, we're all excited to get started tonight on Team Boxing League. The fighters are coming in. We will be going to that in just a second. When we come back, TBL is straight ahead. Team Boxing League is brought to you by Balance of Nature. In boxing, consistency beats intensity. Balance of Nature supplements help you stay consistent with ingredients of whole foods you can easily slot into your daily routine. Go to balanceofnature.com, use code TEAM, and start today. And we are getting ready to get started inside the arena. Time to meet the fighters. And let's go inside, and here's Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Roadrunner here in Boston, Massachusetts for tonight's Team Boxing League Week 2 matchup between the visiting Phoenix Fury and your Boston Butchers. Tonight's event is brought to you by the Team Boxing League app. Stream every moment of TBL. Stream live on the Team Boxing League app, available on Apple TV 4K, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, as well as iPhone and Android devices. Don't miss a second of TBL Team Boxing League action for free. Download the Team Boxing League app tonight. Also, Climax Moonshine Fire number 32, known to bring the heat. And tonight's fights are powered by Balance of Nature. Our fighters are fueled with clean carbs and real ingredients, and now you can too. Grab their new generation guiltless snacks and get 35% off right now with team code at balanceofnature.com. And also Serenity Springs Recovery Center, a place of recovery and self-discovery. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet Sonny Gutierrez and Joe Guzman's Phoenix Fury.
Hey, Sonny, man, let them know what it is.
And one of the most interesting things you'll see in the sport of boxing, the parade of fighters coming in as a team with their coach, their memorabilia, and their spirit of being with each other.
And continuing the tradition of the bird masks as well.
Caught the league by storm with that last year because they said, hey, we want to do something unique.
There you go.
So they marked, and then halfway through the season, Phoenix going to have the mask this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only is who's starting, but do we get the mask?
And we mentioned 9 fighters who have never taken this walk before and get a chance to do it and see what this team environment is like.
9 new fighters that get measured for that mask.
Good point.
Expansion team last year made the playoffs. Did a lot of good things.
The head coaches of the Phoenix Fury are Sonny Gutierrez and Joe Guzman. Bantamweight, Aniela Lopez. U.S. Army veteran, All-Army champion, Golden Gloves and national champion. Featherweight, Daniel Bailey. Featherweight, Brenda Hernandez Cardenas. Lightweight, Kevin Quintero. Welterweight, Judah Israel. Super welterweight, Ariana Aragon. Middleweight, Tyquez Lewis. Heavyweight, Dante Stone. Featherweight, Tierra Brandt. Lightweight, James Pierce. Super lightweight, Annette Agredano. Welterweight, Joaquin Camberos. Super middleweight, Sebastian Salaman Duran. 2025 TBL Most Valuable Fighter, light heavyweight, Raico El Corojo Santana. Olympic trialist and 2025 TBL Most Resilient Fighter, cruiserweight Charles CP the Champ Pugh, and heavyweight Manuel Villalobos. This are the visiting Phoenix Fury. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome from Jimmy Birchfield and Coach Alex Rivera, your Boston Butchers.
It's a team that had their back and forth with the jawboning with Philadelphia and New York last year. And a team that had some changes in that area with one of their fighters, Rashida Ellis, then going to Philadelphia this year.
They do have a fair number of returning fighters, though, that look very, very strong. So there seems to be a nucleus on this team still that could be very impressive this year.
Make their way down, and momentarily we will meet them all.
Introducing the lineup for the Boston Butchers. They are led by Jimmy Birchfield and Coach Alex Rivera. Bantamweight, Natalie Gage. Featherweight, Eric Embry. Featherweight, Brandy Robinson. 2025 Olympian representing the Dominican Republic, lightweight Alexia De La Cruz. Welterweight Keno Luna. Current WBC U.S. Silver Champion, super welterweight Jaye Golden Child Brown. Current WBC Silver Champion and ranked #2 in the world by the WBO, and 15th by the WBC. He is a two-time TBL All-Star and most exciting fighter, middleweight Rashidi Speedy Ellis. Heavyweight Skylar Lacey. Featherweight Brooklyn Borwick. Lightweight Hebro Francois. World rank and former world title challenger, super lightweight Camila Panada. Welterweight Yorman Guerrero. Super middleweight Ronald Ellis. Light heavyweight Steven Sumter. Cruiserweight Marquise Williams. And U.S. Olympic Trials finalist heavyweight Kimdo Boykin. Ladies and gentlemen, this are your Boston Butchers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to begin the launch rounds. It is brought to you by the Team Boxing League app. Stream every single moment of Team Boxing League, available now on Apple TV 4K, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, as well as iPhone and Android devices. Don't miss a second of TBL Team Boxing League action. We begin at 118 pounds for Boston. Natalie Gage meeting Phoenix's Aniela Lopez.
All right, we'll get set to get right to it. Natalie Gage from Indianapolis, 3-1 in an MMA career. Was a ballerina before being attracted to a contact sport.
And this is a match in which we have two women who are making their debut in the Team Boxing League, including Aniela Lopez, who was 5-2-1 as a pro.
Lopez says that she trains at my coach's garage, motivated to lead and learn different styles. It's always interesting to see what levels fighters are progressing through to get here. Lopez looking like she's got a boxing style pretty well, and Gage is trying to get inside and brawl with her, like in her MMA platform.
Yeah, Gage was in the bare knuckles as well for 2 fights.
What's interesting with this is looked at the videos of her, and very good right hand power in those. Question in the boxing is, are you going to get that kind of time?
Yeah, precisely. There's Lopez with the right hand that kind of sneaks in there.
Lopez moving pretty well. Oh, just missed with that. I love that intention, though. Step to her left and then just missed with the right hand. She is honing in to land that right hand. She's been closer.
The Gage jab, and interestingly, like her name, she's trying to gauge how quickly she can get in with that right, but she's pawing with it and not throwing it with commitment. So that's part of the problem, and it's not allowing her to step in.
Different levels of competition as she eats another jab, which just blocks her momentum.
Yeah, Lopez with more experience as a boxer, and I think that is showing up here early in this as we go on for this round.
And if you Gage, you're trying to walk in, you realize what's being taken away from you by the speed and pretty good footwork of your opponent.
And Lopez landing a lot of good counter right hands during the course of this round. Quite a few.
So round one in the books. The women fighting 3-minute rounds in TBL.
I thought that was a very precise effort by Aniela Lopez. And there now you're going to see that she just misses with that right hand, but then comes back with a power jab right to the face.
The defense was excellent in
Yeah.
this fight. She could engage, tried to get in, and it's just a different animal against the skilled boxer who was moving and, you know, made a reset a lot. That's how it looked from here. Pretty soon we'll hear from the people who count.
The judges may have a different view of what happened in that round. That has been known to happen on occasion.
Now and then. but you know, to me, it's of the 24 fights when it's all over.
Ladies and gentlemen,
hit it in
the
a
winner
minute.
of round one by unanimous decision from the Phoenix Fury, Aniela Lopez.
I was about to say that in 24 fights, when it's all over, there might be maybe only 2.
I agree.
That
I agree with you. In general, not much of a decision that you're going to have a great issue with.
Our next round is brought to you by Climax Moonshine Fire number 32, known to bring the heat. At featherweight for Boston, Eric Emery. Helmet Phoenix is Daniel Bailey.
All right, so Phoenix steps off the plane and has a point. As this man will try to make it 2 as he goes against Eric Emery.
Pretty good matchup, you know. Bailey is 9-5 in team boxing, 15-3 as a pro, and Emery 6-0 as a pro with 6 KOs. So he's got power, and he's had 5 TBL fights. So, and there you see Daniel Bailey's background.
Yeah, a 4-time Army champion. Also 9-4 in the TBL, 7 wins in a row in the TBL, on top of all those other honors and accolades you see there. So he's been a force of discipline in his life. And Eric Emery, on the other side, 2-3 in the TBL. Some good wins, but also losses to Victor Abreu and Ariel Perez de la Torre. So he's gets a real good effort one time and then comes up short another as he's looking for a little consistency.
And Abreu is an excellent boxer, so a loss to him doesn't, you know, diminish you in any way.
Yeah, we saw that over the weekend with some of his handiwork. That's two pretty accomplished guys here.
Yeah, I mean, they should be a good match for each other. Wild overhand right there by Emery. I mean, Emery is a knockout artist with all his pro fights being by knockout, but that doesn't always translate in this format with 1 round to get it done in.
And you see some of that when you come in and you try to launch your right hand and your opponent is still fresh, so the reaction time is there, the movement is there to get out of the way.
And we see Bailey trying to land those lead rights, and they were just coming up a little bit short. Both these men kind of figuring out the right distance, if they can, where is the best punching range. And so far, for either man, that hasn't presented itself.
And so just take a look. If you're Bailey, you get the good close-up look there. You want to get closer, but you have to, there's risk involved in obtaining the positioning to do that. So you're trying to maybe take another step and a half closer, and that's when you're exposed.
This is going to be a very tough round to judge. There, a right hand from Emery. So both men have been right-hand centric, and it's a question of who has gotten any in. This is a flurry, but man, good counterpunching by Emery too.
And so Bailey reacting to the reality of the scoring in this league. Not much had been landed. He was hit with a clear one and immediately went into this overdrive like, I have to answer, because there hasn't been much for the judges to go on. So you've got a burst from Emery, and you've got counter-punching from Bailey, and what do the judges like?
And in the midst of that outburst, a counterpunch landed by Emery. There he is at the end. Bailey trying to work his way in, but that's where he took the big left hand from Emery. So it was a mixed bag in that sequence for David Bailey.
The aggression was good, but he paid the price, and they were clear shots. That bodes well for Emery.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 2 by unanimous decision from Boston, Eric Emery.
Well done for Eric Emery. Did all of the best work in the last 25 seconds. It's a good mindset to have, and so we're even at 1-1.
Round 3 at featherweight, Boston will feature Brandy Robinson. For Phoenix, Brenda Hernandez Cardenas.
This is a match, really looking forward to this one. Brenda Hernandez Cardenas, a 30-year-old that I mentioned at the top, could be an anchor for the Phoenix women. She's 7-4 in Team Boxing League, but Brandy Robinson at 37, a veteran pro. She's 5-0 in the pro ranks, and she's had 9 TBL fights, so she's a solid fighter as well.
Interesting look. We talk about Brenda is 30-year-old mother of a 10-year-old. Told by her parents that the boxing was a man's sport. Didn't believe in it, so she went and visited a gym in junior high school. Later got back after she had a baby. And interesting, the honesty. She said, I was a little bit insecure about my looks after having a baby. So I went out there to try and do something and like work my way back into shape. But she not only worked her way back into shape, she worked her way all the way to the TBL.
Yeah, very impressive. Right now, it is Robinson, though, that's on the attack and landing big shots.
Brandy Robinson has a win over Leanne Calderon in the league.
Yeah, she's 5-4, so she's had enough experience here to understand this format.
Came off of a decision win outside the TBL in November, so been riding a good run here.
Yeah, she beat Jade Mason Wong in that match, and she came out on fire here. Let's see if Cardenas can take back some of the momentum. The distance in this fight is really favoring Robinson. Cardenas has not been able to get inside.
You know, that jab is like something that's really making her reset. Every time, all you have to do is show it as your Robinson, and it makes her stop and reload and think about it. So Brandy Robinson having an excellent round here.
Cardenas has tried to rely on the overhand right, but it has been short most of the time in this match.
And this is the dilemma you face in a short fight. If you're a body puncher, you're a walk-down fighter, you have time, go to the body for a couple rounds and then try to break your opponent down, but not in the 3-minute format. This has been unfavorable to her tonight. And credit Brandy Robinson. This has been very good effort by her.
Well, in a match that saw Brandy Robinson kind of controlling the distance, you saw the overhand right that we talked about that just couldn't get there for Cardenas, and then Robinson coming back with good punches. This was the early sequence in the round where Robinson came out being very, very aggressive. And her combination punching, not everything landing, but clearly some of those shots getting through, and Cardenas just not able to land herself.
Positioning, very important. And Robinson will also be rewarded for what she did not allow to happen.
TBL fans, the winner of round 3 by unanimous decision from Boston, Brandy Robinson.
Well deserved for Brandy Robinson, and her team goes up 2-1.
Tonight's fights are powered by Balance of Nature. Our fighters fuel with clean carbs and real ingredients. And now you can too. Grab their new guiltless snacks and get 35% off right now with code TEAM at balanceofnature.com. Round 4 at lightweight for Boston, Alexi De La Cruz. For Phoenix, Kevin Quintero.
All right, De La Cruz 49-15 overall. 6 wins in a row. And Quintero coming to us from Ecuador. And we will not have time for introductions. Get right to it.
Exactly.
Quintero and De La Cruz.
Both men on the outside trying to land big shots in what is obviously going to be a style of wide looping punchers.
Looks like the jab is optional in this one. Of course, if either fighter can make the adjustment and go to that, it'll be a big benefit.
Quintero dealing with the lefty style in this fight. And throws a beautiful right hand that you want to use against the lefty.
Coming in trying to parlay that.
Quintero is the straighter puncher of the two, and that is one of the differences right now. He was throwing some looping punches himself, but he has been a straighter, more compact puncher in this. And both these men in their first team boxing league effort.
Tough for Quintero how the one punch then led to the idea of going for more. Fortified by the result of that, and it has brought him closer to his opponent, distance-wise.
And he's using a jab as a rangefinder to get that distance to land some of those shots. He's had his opponent, Quintero's had De La Cruz on his back foot really for almost this entire round.
And that is the stylistic move that the judges traditionally reward. Looks like the ring general in there of the two fighters. So is Phoenix about to tie this?
An occasional good jab from De La Cruz, but beyond that, not a lot of effective offense.
So,
well, the 25-year-old Quintero, the Ecuadorian, did some very good work with, as that was one of the early right hands that knocked De La Cruz backwards.
He had more moments. De La Cruz couldn't find a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 4 by unanimous decision from Boston, Alexi De La Cruz.
Wow, okay.
So Boston had lost the first one, but comes back, gets the next 3, gets a call there. We are just getting started on Team Boxing League. We'll be back with more after this.
Boxing League app on Apple or Android devices. Make sure to download the Team Boxing League app on your Apple or your Android devices. It is free, so you don't miss a minute of any of the Team Boxing League action. Also the schedule as to when we are coming back here to Boston. Our next round, round 5, is moments away.
Wait, we gotta find a net.
Boston, the Butchers, have a 3-1 lead. They've gotten out to that fast start as you take a look at the city and then inside as we continue the launch rounds.
Round 5 will be at welterweight for Boston, Keno Luna. For Phoenix, Judah Yisrael.
All right, round 5, Dave Bontempo and Al Bernstein. You're watching TBL Boxing, and at ringside, we've got Amelia Moore with a special guest.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am down here ringside with a net of the Phoenix Fury. Right now, this is your debut with the Phoenix Fury. Tonight's your first fight. It's been how many years since the last time you were in the ring?
I think it's been about 15 years.
15 years, that's incredible. So currently, in between that time, you've been working with the Athletic Commission in
Phoenix, Arizona. I'm also on the boxing commission for the Bosco Yaqui tribe in Tucson, Arizona.
That's incredible. And coming from that side, being able to see this type of format, what are your thoughts? I mean, here you are as an athlete.
Yeah, I think it's just a really good opportunity for a lot of athletes, and we all have our own like individual reason for being here. But for me, it's an opportunity for exposure. It's an opportunity to show my skills, but also like hype up my boxing gym back home. You know, I'm trying to raise money so that we could have the facility that my father started, you know, when I was a kid. So there's a legacy behind it. That's my purpose for fighting, but also just knowing, watching the league on the commission and seeing the opportunities, and also just the safety too, right? Like we're all getting in here 1 or 2 rounds, but it's, you know, people could say, oh, it's just 3 rounds, but 3-minute rounds, you know, it's a lot. So there is, you know, full-time training. You got to train like you're fighting for a title fight. So it's great to like be able to have the opportunity at 44 to jump in there and be with the team too. I played college soccer at the University of Pittsburgh, so that team concept and watching the teams when I worked for the commission was amazing.
Thank you so much for your insight. I really appreciate it. Good luck when you into the middle rounds in your next bout. And Dave, we're going to send it back to you in the studio to get us back in the ring.
Okay, thanks, Amelia. Well, if the judge doesn't like the score later, maybe somebody will have to listen to her. She may know what she's talking about.
Meanwhile, they are going at it here in this matchup. I mean, both men have been battling away. Keno Luna, the left-hander for Boston, has lent some pretty good shots, but so has Yuda Israel.
Excellent stylistic matchup as this one has turned out to be. Behind them, you see Skylar Lacey getting loose. He will be heavyweight representative for Boston later on.
Yeah, Luna is landing some really nice straight left hands and going to town now.
Pouring it on, everything into this. Good sense of timing, too, to do it right at the end. Don't leave anything on the table.
Well, it's a good round, good competitive round for both men. And here was that sequence where Luna was coming forward, not everything getting there, but some of those punches landing, especially some of the straight lefts like that. And had him on the ropes during a good portion of that first round. Some good counterpunching, though, by Israel.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 5 by unanimous decision. From Boston, Keno Luna.
All right, so Boston gets out to its biggest lead of the night, 4-1. And we've got Jai
Our next
Brown.
round is brought to you by Serenity
Arian
Springs
Aragon
Recovery
going
Center,
next.
a place of recovery and self-discovery. Round 6 at super welterweight for Boston. It is Jai Brown. For Phoenix, Arian Aragon.
And this is going to be a tough place for Phoenix to try and make up some of this margin, because Jai Brown would go into this fight a kind of a favorite. You know, he's 17-5 in TBL. He's 19-2 as a professional boxer. And for Arian, he's coming in here with no pro experience and no team boxing league experience.
Now, in fact, he's been on a journey. Fighter born in Cuba and then began boxing in Las Vegas. Wants to be known for being creative and expressing himself through art. So a very thoughtful individual, and he would like some of that art to be here in the Sweet Science tonight. Standing in his way is a formidable opponent in Jai Brown.
Brown has a win over Rashidi Ellis, now his teammate on Boston, who we're going to see. But that's one of his victories among those 17, and that's an impressive one.
Also has a win over Charles Garner, who's well-traveled, and Giovanni Estella, who we met and spoke with last night.
Who looked good as well.
Looked good as his team, Miami team, rolling to a victory. You know, it's good to look in there and see these matchups against other TBL people and then see what they might take away from that.
Arian is, he's showing a composure in this match. We mentioned he's going in against a man that, has more experience both on the regular pro circuit and also in TBL, but he is not losing his composure. He's keeping Jai Brown at a distance, not landing a lot, but neither is Brown for that matter. Both men using the jab extensively.
By being patient, basically maybe cajoling Brown. Do you want to be impatient? Do you want to try to make that first mistake?
Yeah. And some nice right hands by Arian on the inside. He's showing himself to be, he just got popped with a couple of good right hands by Brown. He's hanging in there well against this veteran. On the inside, though, Brown is doing some excellent work.
Yeah, he welcomes that the trip right inside to get in his face. He's figured something out in the last minute.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what this is about. You see what's working for you stylistically, measure it quick. Hey, listen, both fighters trying to press a pretty good pace now.
And you know, you have to feel for Arian. If he was in there against other fighters in this TBL, the way he's fighting, he'd be doing better than he is right now in this round. But Brown is, you know, he's a step up.
He is, and he's just walking through any opposition. So very good final minute of that for J.A. Brown.
Well, after an early part of the round in which Arian was holding his own to a great extent, then the jab started working for Brown, and then he closed the distance on Arian. And once they were on the inside, did some really good work, popping the right hand and also being demonstrative in the way he's approaching this.
Fight fans, the winner of round 6 by
billing.
unanimous decision from Boston, J.A. Brown.
So J.A. Brown gives Boston now 5 in a row, and one of their best fighters, almost like Mr. Automatic, is up next.
Round 7 will be at middleweight for Boston, Rashidi Ellis. He'll make Phoenix's Taekwon Lewis.
All right, so Rashidi Ellis, 28-1 overall, 4 wins in a row in boxing, and 25-3 in the TBL. So that's just basically Mr. Consistent. And as you said in the open, he doesn't know how to lose.
Yeah, he has been, you know, so good in team boxing, and it's very hard to beat him. They had a clash of heads here early. I mean, a team boxing league debut for Lewis and a pro debut against a man who is in the top 10 in the world. But he's bringing the heat a little bit, Lewis, but let's see if he can keep that up.
Ellis choosing to get in and engage with the bigger fighter, and needs to see the intangible asset of the head movement and the speed and the instinct.
Yeah, Ellis is a very quick puncher. Fighting at really a weight in the middleweight, I think it's a little above where he normally wants to be at 154, 147, but still lots of hand speed and good movement there. He rips an uppercut on the inside.
And when you see a guy like Ellis moving up a little bit, he nails Lewis. And here comes Ellis thinking about 4 points, which is in the new scoring. 4 points for a knockout. You get 1 extra point for a knockdown. And he had notions of it there. Lewis stayed strong, but still a lot of time to go in this round.
And you know, right there, good power punches, and another one by Ellis. He's not really a middleweight. He's more of a 154, 147-pound guy, and he's not a monstrous puncher at those weights. So he'll land great big shots. They're probably not often knockout shots, but certainly he's scoring as he always does.
And when you see a guy move up like this, you realize what that person's probably doing for the team aspect.
Yeah,
say, okay,
that's right.
We might have a second or third good fighter at 47.
Yep.
Let's move Rashidi up. And now
Absolutely.
we're strong all the way through that middle area.
Yeah, totally the case, Dave. And he's having a ball in there. Rashidi Ellis is having fun, mugging for the camera and just having a good time landing combinations.
Good right hand and look at the head movement.
When Rashidi Ellis gets on this kind of roll, in whether it's in team boxing or the other circuit, I'll tell you what, he's fun to watch and hard to deal with.
And doing his own MC Hammer, you can't touch this because he is in escape. Now he can be hit as he decides to engage, but a veteran, skilled fighter. Have a little fun, Rashid.
I would say he's enjoyed that round. You know, just a guess on my part, but And, you know, for that young man, for Lewis, he stepped in there with somebody really, really good for this team boxing debut. And that was a left hook by Ellis that did stun Lewis during the course of that round. And Lewis trying to get some offense going, but Ellis was having none of it. He had a good time during that one round.
TBL fans, the winner of round 7 by unanimous decision, Rashidi Speedy Ellis.
Well, just the guy you want to have.
Our final launch round
There's a
will
link
be
in the
in the
chain.
heavyweight division. For the Boston Butchers, it is Skylar Lacey. He'll be opposed by Phoenix's Dante Stone.
All right, so Skylar Lacey has been one of the emerging and steady stars on the Boston team. 8-1-3 as a pro. 3 of his one of the leaders on a playoff team.
Yeah, he's had a really good TPL experience. Now, Dante Stone, and you see him in there, 21-2 as a pro. Team Boxing League debut, but he's going to stand right in there with Lacey. He's a capable opponent to Lacey. He's got pretty good hand speed, the left-handed style, which the heavyweights don't see very often. And if the Fury was going to turn this around a little bit and get a win, Dante Stone's a guy who can do it for him.
26-8 in traditional boxing. He did have a winning streak of 21 in a row, and on the human interest level, he's the oldest of 6 children. His younger brother diagnosed with autism, and he said, "I am fighting for him." Well, there's a lot of carrying family banners and a lot of people close to you when you go into the ring.
Stone landed a nice left hand there, but the volume level of Lacey right now is a lot more than Stone. And the question is, will that carry the day for Skylar Lacey, who, as we pointed out, has so often won his matches in the Team Boxing League.
And you build up the momentum, a freight train all last year, and then this is the first fight this year, so a lot of importance attached to that. And he's fighting outside with the veteran's poise. He jumps in, throws his best shots, did get caught there, but for the most part has been on the outside, do his work and get out.
You know, you're not going to, as a technician, Skylar Lacey has an awkward looking style, but some of the important techniques are there. And as a boxer on the outside, he can get it done, even if it looks very herky-jerky. And Stone is still trying to land that straight left, but is having a hard time doing it. And the Lacey jab and an occasional right hand is making it very tough on him.
One of the things I really like about Lacey here is his ability to mix it up. You're thinking, okay, maybe I'll try to time the jab. Maybe I'll try to time something else. But one time you face the jab, and then the next time it's your right hand that you have to time.
Yeah, it's a very unique style to fight against, and the right hand of Lacey now is making its presence felt in this fight. This has turned out to be not as perfect a stylistic match for Dante Stone as he would like, although he did get that left hand in.
Lacey landed a big right hand at the bell, so it was a good scrap, and stylistically looked like it favored Skylar Lacey as it played out.
And they are feeling it on the bench of Boston.
Well, hey, look at us. We've won 7 in a row if we get this one. So, you know, it's contagious. And you don't want to be the person to lose on that good thing. Let's go.
You do not.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 8 by unanimous decision from the Boston Butchers, Skylar Lacey.
So
At the end
Skylar
of the
Lacey
launch rounds, Boston
pads
leads
his
Phoenix 7-1.
victory total
That'll
and
conclude
keeps
our
Boston
launch rounds.
well
The middle
ahead
rounds
as
are
we
on
conclude
way.
the launch rounds. And now let's go
Also,
to
ladies
Dave
and gentlemen, make sure
Bontempo
to
for some
follow us on
information
our
about
Team
what's to
Boxing
come
League
on
social
Team
media
Boxing.
pages, including Instagram. Make sure to click
Hey, Al, we're sure
the like
enjoying
button
this
and
one.
follow
TBL
us
takes a
at
slight break during the
Team
Easter
Boxing
week.
League.
Make sure that you enjoy your holiday, and you can do a scouting report on all these teams we've seen this week. A little scouting report before we come back in week 3. And what will we have? Well, we will have New York City Attitude taking on the Houston Hitmen. And one we are salivating for. Las Vegas going to Philadelphia. Hey, they smoked the smoke before. Can they do it again? Kai Brooks making a lot of noise in this league, the big heavyweight. And then San Antonio taking on the LA Elite. Stay with us all season long for TBL, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all year.
We're not forcing it. Okay? This next one, all right? Again, don't force nothing, all right? But if it's there, sit down. All right? Sit down on your punch. Work for it. Boom. Work it. Let's get it. Come on. Let's get it. Fury! 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 What? Don't worry, when they're coming at you, I'm behind you.
I know, I keep going back like this instead of straight back.
All right, getting ready for the middle rounds tonight. Boston doing the number right now on Phoenix 7-1. Well, before we get to those rounds, we've got so much to tell you. First of all, on the replays of TBL all next week, so you can watch again and again and again the entire first couple weeks of the year. Dave Bontempo and Al Bernstein. And Al, we have had some exciting news we announced last night, and we think about it some more. The major expansion for the league next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Adding 8 new teams who are going to be added, integrating European teams as well. And I personally think the European teams in Dublin, Birmingham, London, and Manchester, what you and I know about the UK fans, they're going to appreciate this format and really enjoy it.
Yeah, they really will. I mean, we heard all the Ricky Hatton fans over the years. When I would get on the plane, they would be excited. Now you give them their own team and their own part of the league. They will be very supportive. I totally agree with you. A 96-event season with that. Hey, you know, we were right about it. We thought Chicago might come in. We thought Detroit might come in. All of that made sense. And then San Juan and then the European circuit. You make a good point about that. They'll be right on it.
Yeah, I think it's right up their alley. You know, they love shows at the York Hall and places like that where I think team boxing has that same feel. And I think they're going to get on board with the team aspect of this as much or more than the American fans.
All right, let's go to tonight now into the middle rounds. We just saw a big move by Boston to start. what is your favorite look in the middle round?
I'm going to go for round number 9, which is Tierra Brand taking on Brooklyn Barwick. Brooklyn Barwick, a good professional with a 4-1 record, coming in here hoping to make a statement in team boxing. But Brand, who came to team boxing last year after amazing amateur credentials, became the star of the night on her very first team boxing experience and parlayed it into a very good season last year. Dave, she could be a big factor for Boston this year.
So we'll see how that all plays out. We are now going to go back inside to get started with the middle rounds.
Stream every moment of TBL Season 4 live on the Team Boxing League app, available on Apple TV 4K, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, as well as iPhone and Android devices. Don't miss a second of TBL Team Boxing League action. We begin the middle rounds in the featherweight division. For Boston, it is Brooklyn Barwick. For Phoenix, Tierra Brand.
Fight that we expect to be good action is Brooklyn Barwick nicknames herself the Big Deal. She's 4-1, 4 knockouts away from here, and she had a loss. And Tierra Brandt, of course, fighting Alyssa Bolts last year, coming on the scene, 5-time Muay Thai champion and Team USA member. You know, Al, when we saw her last year, you just got the feeling that there's so much raw talent there. And if she finds a way to add to it, you take a look at the frame, all the other credentials that she has, and she could be a real good one.
Yeah, and she had a lot of development last year in the TBL. Good straight right hand gets in.
So we're watching 2 fighters, we're watching 2 backgrounds, and we're watching a possible trajectory for Tierra Brandt, who's going to work on the inside.
She's using that height and reach and her edge and hand speed. Barwick trying to get on the inside, but even when she gets there, some great work by Brand.
Good right hand by Tierra Brandt. And one thing that's different in this fight than a lot of the times we saw her last year, she is closer to her opponent. She's got the sense of getting into the punching zone, and she's having an impact with these shots.
Yeah, Brandt knows how to fight on the inside in a way where she doesn't have to smother her punches. Just enough punching room, almost to mid-range, and especially against a shorter opponent like Barwick.
And Brandt unloading with that left hook. Shows the jab.
You know, Brandt, at 24, she has a 2-3 record in the pros, but she looks like a boxer, as you pointed out, Dave, that's beyond that, you know, better than that.
A lot of these things we'll see in her improvement, and she is starting to tee off. 5 good shots get in, and the question now, does she want to gamble and try to get more bonus points for her team? This could be a big moment for Phoenix, because Brandt is in charge here.
Yeah, her team could sure use that, and there's a lot left. And even if this is one of those fights where even if she doesn't knock out or knock down Barwick, she could put enough of a punishment on her that the referee could step in at some point under the right circumstances.
Yeah, and that's the quick way to 4 points. She is landing everything flush. A terrific uppercut by Brandt. Really, it's a question of, does she have the time? And she's trying to beat the clock. Brandt is trying to get bonus points before the time runs down.
Barwick's in a lot of trouble. And you're right, it's a matter of the clock. Will it allow her the time to do it? And will the referee pull the trigger?
She is very close to having that stopped, but it looks like the bell got in. You know, they say the bell can't save you, but yes, it can.
It did save Boston points, that's for sure.
3 points.
Yeah, and here's Brandt just raking Barwick over the coals. And this was toward the end of the round where she was in major, major trouble.
And she's not holding on, so
No.
you're figuring.
Right. And the body work as well, a part of the equation here for Brandt.
Well, that was exquisite, and you know, about I think another 15 seconds and that ends.
I
So-
agree.
So Tierra Brandt, it was good to watch that, and for Barwick, a tough introduction against a very, very good fighter.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 9 by unanimous decision from the Phoenix Fury, Tierra Brandt.
So watch that name, watch that fighter, Tierra Brandt.
Our next round is brought to you by Climax Moonshine Fire number 32, known to bring the heat. At lightweight for Boston, it is Abreu Francois. Filming Phoenix is James Pierce.
Phoenix will try to add to what it is. Well, we talked about that big deal a moment ago at the expansion. Amelia Moore is with League Commissioner and CEO Kevin Cassidy. Go ahead, Amelia.
I'm down here with CEO of Team Boxing League, Kevin Cassidy, with some massive news of expansion that we're walking into to see season 5 in the 2027 year. So right now, I mean, we're already looking at more fights this year in season 5, season 4. Talk to us about what's on the horizon.
So for season 5, for the 27th season, we're 8 teams in the United States, but we're all London, Manchester, and Birmingham. And so we're going to add the Midwest, Chicago and Detroit. So we're going to have 20 teams in Team Boxing League and 96 events. We have 56 events this year. We'll have 96 next year. Keep on going with Team Boxing League.
Just absolute nonstop action, bringing more and more fighters now looking at expansion more globally, getting into the UK. This is incredible news. Anything that you're particularly very excited about from this new expansion?
So one of the things I forgot to mention is we're going to be in Dublin. My family's from Ireland. I'm very happy to be going to Ireland. I was over there recently meeting with all the fighters. It was amazing to meet the origination of boxing, St. Francis Boxing Club in Limerick. I want to give a shout out to them. Really a lot of respect. Thanks.
So excited to see the new talent that we're going to be pulling in next year. This year's going to be a blowout. Keep tuning in, everybody. Dave, bring us back into the ring.
All right, thanks, Amelia and Kevin. Congratulations on that big deal. And what a it's like shockwaves through the TBL and probably the business world that that type of massive expansion can happen. Usually it's a team here and a team there.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun and dramatic. This fight is a lot of fun. Both these men, Francois from Boston and Pierce from the Fury, have been exchanging a lot of leather. Francois seems to be getting more of the offense in, but the left-handed Pierce has had his moments as well and just absorbed on the right hand there, though.
What I really like about this is sometimes you get that righty-lefty matchup and there's a lot of studying.
Yes.
You don't get the explosive action. These guys figured that one out right away.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And at distance, Francois has had a better go of it. And the jab, which sometimes right-handers don't use enough against lefties, has been there.
So Phoenix energized by that big effort by Tierra Brandt. Can they make it 2 in a row? We saw the bench excited after her performance.
Yeah.
Do they get points, or does Boston have a stopper?
Well, Francois had some, Pierce landed some straight left hands like that early on, and Francois did his share of offensive work as well.
All right, so a lot for the judges to carve out. That was an excellent fight as we were watching that and hearing the the great news about Team Boxing League. It's better and better, bigger every year.
Fans, the winner of round 10 by way of split decision. From Phoenix, James Pierce.
All right, so the split for Phoenix, clawing their way back in. 7-3.
Super lightweights will take the ring for round 11. Boston will feature Camilo Panada. Show me Phoenix's Annette Agredano.
Camila Panada, well-traveled. Italy and then back and forth to Mexico. And of course, as we talked about, what an effort she gave in Caroline Dubois.
Yeah, her last fight was against Caroline Dubois, the lightweight champion of the world and considered one of the best pound-for-pound women fighters as a pro, and she went 10 rounds with her in a world championship match, and that brings her into this match. So for Annette Agredano, who is in the first fight for 15 years, I mean, this is a lot to chew on.
Here come the judge indeed, as she is in there, and Camila Panada, many different qualities, legal services science degree as well. So a lot of education and a lot of intensity as she puts all these good qualities into her career.
She's had a really storied amateur and pro career at this juncture, and at age 34 still has plenty in the tank. And you know, she's 7-7 in team boxing, so she's got a lot of good activity in this as well. Agredano is waiting in there. She's showing a lot of heart in this match. After that, you know, hasn't been in the ring for 15 years. It's a lot to take in for her.
It is a big ask. And then you get in there and it's, oh my.
Yeah.
You could study tape. You could even work out in the gym, and you're in there and it's, oh man.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Dave. And you know, Panada is a really solid boxer. You know, she's got an 8-3-1 pro record. That's part of the reason she got to that world championship match. And the fact that she hung in for 10 rounds with Caroline Dubois, which not everyone can do. And Panada is really putting her punches together very well in this fight.
And so here's something that people in the league would take pride in. Okay, here she just fought Caroline Dubois, but she's 7-7 in TBL.
Yeah,
so
think
there are
about
a lot
that.
of fighters who have, you know, had their way there.
It's a very good point. She's fighting for a lightweight world championship, and you know, meanwhile, she doesn't dominate every time in team boxing at all. Though tonight she's having a very good night.
I find that so interesting. Time after time you come in from the circuit, there's no built-in edge to come here and dominate.
There really isn't. Agredano, you're doing your best and trying very hard in there, but you know, it's been a long time since she fought, and she was 5-0-1 as a professional back when she fought, but that was a while ago.
What did you tell Amelia? 44? That
Yeah.
she is, and she put up quite a good effort. And there's something to be said for that, to make that journey, make that try.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, she caught a fighter who was on tonight. They will fight again in round 21.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 11 by unanimous decision, from the Boston Butchers, Camilo Panada.
All right, so Panada breaks the chain. gets Boston back on its winning ways, up 5.
Just train hard, they train consistently.
All right,
Balance
Amelia
of
Moore
Nature's
has a
new
special guest for us. Go ahead.
Support energy, recovery, and performance. Go.
So I'm down here in the pit with Dante Stone, one of our heavyweights, and honestly, one of my favorite weight classes. Who doesn't love a heavyweight? Last year, you competed in the WBC's Grand Prix and made it into the semifinals, which is incredibly impressive. It's such a long tournament. What was some of the experience that you pulled from that?
In terms of experience I pulled from the tournament, I'd say it is perspective on my style and how I can improve, but also how far I've come.
1,000%, and probably just being able to adjust.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to adjust, especially mid-fight, is key.
How do you feel that that kind of translates into this? I mean, Skylar Lacey is one of our TBL's very decorated athletes. He's been with us all 4 seasons. Did you feel like there was a tempo change?
Definitely a big tempo change from what I'm used to, but, you know, I try to prepare beforehand for it so that way I wouldn't be caught completely a fish out of water, if you know what I mean.
1,000%, and I feel like you did adjust well, especially to his height.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Me and Skylar have a little bit of history, so I've fought taller fighters before. It's not unknown to me.
Yeah, I think you did beautifully. Looking forward to future rounds. Anything else you'd like to say about being on the team as of your debut?
It's an honor to be on the team. They're good. They're a good bunch of people, and I plan on sticking around.
Can't wait to see more rounds from you, man. Very exciting stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Dave, can you take us back in the rounds, finish out this round?
Thank you, Amelia. I do love the humility and blue-collar work ethic and approach by these fighters, and there's just another example of it. You know, we go back to the earlier days, and nobody would ever tell you they had a vulnerability or a weakness.
They would not. Yeah,
I'm not trying to work on my style. I'm the teacher. and you love to hear someone say, I'm trying to work my way up. I want to learn. There's things I can take out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, 18 or 19-year-old Joaquin Camberas is having a pretty good round for himself.
And we got a drop. Wondering when there's knockdowns are going to come, and we have one. And do we have more than one? A minute still to kill. And there's a chance for 4. And then again, the big thing is you have to pass muster in the referee's eyes. So is the parlay option there? The hands unloading. Boy, what this does for a fighter. Score the knockdown. And if you're on the other side of that, you just keep it to that one knockdown if you can.
You know, Camberas fought 3 weeks ago and got a knockout in the first round over Jonathan Godoy. So in the regular boxing circuit, and so now here he is bringing that into team boxing.
Unloading, big chances here. 20 seconds to go. Another race against the clock like we saw from Tara Brent a couple rounds ago. These are big, big punches. You don't have to drop your opponent necessarily. You can try to convince the referee to stop it.
Yorman Guerrero hanging in there, just as Barwick did, saving Boston 3 points. And here's Camberas. What a nice right hand he has, and that is the punch that would create the big issues for Guerrero. Just good straight right hands. We saw a lot of that last night from a number of fighters, and boy, we're seeing it here right now. And one extra point is going to be added on for that knockdown, so a good help for Phoenix.
So Phoenix has had 2 near 4-pointers in this middle segment, but they do get at least 1 here. And that's good because this team is inching its way back. That's what a power will do for you. Get just a taste of it. Get themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 12. 2 points being awarded to Phoenix's Joaquin Camberos.
All right, so Phoenix gets some momentum, makes this much closer, and the team has a lot to be happy for because the big man, Charles Pugh, is going to be unmasked in round 15. Stay with us. It's getting heated up on TBL.
Merchandise, make sure to pick up a t-shirt and say you were here for Team Boxing League action. Also download the official Team Boxing League app on your iPhone or your Android device. Keep up to date with all the latest news and information, as well as streaming every single Team Boxing League app event for free. And coming up, we're coming back here to Boston. Download the Team Boxing League app on your iPhone or Android device. The score right now is Boston 8, Phoenix 5. A 3-point advantage for the Boston Butchers.
And the Phoenix Fury has risen, gotten back into this contest halfway through the middle rounds and the entire event. And inside, they're excited. Let's pick up the action.
Fight fans, we begin round 13 at super middleweight for Boston. It is Ronald Ellis. Phoenix will feature Sebastian Salomon Duran.
Ellis and Duran, this is chance for Phoenix to crawl even closer. Tough guy in Ronald Ellis.
Yeah, another team boxing debut for Phoenix with Sebastian Duran, and facing a veteran in Ronald Ellis, who is 18-5 as a pro, and he has fought, you know, top 168-pounders like David Benavidez, Christian Mabili, and a number of others. So he's been in with some really top fighters.
And TBL people will know he's got 2 wins over Malik Calhoun and lost to Lasha Gugliani. So there's a nice separate comparison circuit.
And interestingly, in team boxing, his 7-13 record isn't overwhelming, ironically, with all his success in the rest of boxing outside of TBL. So it's one of those interesting situations. So we'll see if Duran, who's relatively inexperienced, just 2-0 as a pro and making his team boxing debut, can he deal with a veteran who is a 36-year-old?
So if you're Boston, you're liking this matchup coming in. Got a guy that has fought in a lot of circuits, very seasoned.
Yeah.
Ronald Ellis.
Overhand right by Ellis, sneaks in there. And when Ellis has fought these top fighters, he's always had a number of good rounds in those fights to show he belonged in the ring with them, even though he didn't get wins in those fights. And he lands a real nice, solid left hook there.
Ellis showing the jab and moving. Duran trying to punch with Ellis. And this is one thing about the inexperience we talk about. Yeah, these punches, the wide. You know, at some point, you know, they'll tighten it up and be more precise. But you can understand with the adrenaline and the excitement.
What a beautiful uppercut by Ellis.
Now that one's a slip, but the uppercut just before that was very strong.
And delivered not super close from mid-range, though, not too far out for it to be a dangerous punch. Duran keeps coming forward, and that's part of the reason why he's getting hit with some of these power shots. They're counter shots from Ellis.
And the coaches are thinking, please, jab your way in.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, you're right. That is running through their mind right now.
You get the surge, and we've seen that a few times this weekend where fighters come in and they've got their opponent backed against the ropes, And they walk into one, and it's a short one, but they walked into it. Such subtlety and nuance sometimes. Just a joy to watch.
Well, the experience of Ellis was on display in this fight, and everybody in their family, he, his brother and his sister, they all fight with impeccable technique, and that was the beautiful uppercut on the inside, a push that sent Duran down, but not a knockdown. But a very impressive effort by Ronald Ellis.
And you're right, an Ellis family reunion here.
Frustration for Duran. He wanted to do better in his debut, but he acquitted himself pretty well for
TBL
an
fans, the
inexperienced
winner
guy.
of round 13 by unanimous decision. From Boston, Ronald Ellis. The score, Boston 9, Phoenix 5. Our next round is brought to you by Serenity Springs Recovery Center, a place of recovery and self-discovery. Round 14 at light heavyweight. For Boston, it is Stephen Sumter. For Phoenix, it is the TBL most valuable fighter, light heavyweight, Raico El Corojo Santana.
Now, we were really interested in this one in the meetings we had today because Raico Santana he grew a level after the TBL last year.
Yeah, this is the fight you want if you're Phoenix right now. Raico Santana gives you an opportunity to climb a little bit back in, as they're not prohibitively far behind. And he's 16-2 in the team boxing, so he wins over Money Powell, Yusmel Ruiz, who we saw this weekend. So he's a solid fighter for sure.
Going up against Sumter, who has his own interesting background. I think one of my favorite parts of that is it's a painting and a barber. You know, a lot of different ways to express yourself.
He's a true Renaissance man.
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
And he's had a good team. Oh my, left hook there may have been sent him down. No, it's a push.
And that is a break for Boston, and they didn't get a call against him. Here comes Santana trying so hard to try to get some bonus points up there for Phoenix. His last big effort outside of TBL, that one-round knockout on the pay-per-view card, and he mentioned TBL for the training and how it had gotten him ready.
He shocked Steven Nelson with a first-round knockout, and as you pointed out, and I've done fights in other venues where people have talked about how team boxing helped them become better, and so he's not the only one that is able to claim that. And he's still got a minute left in this round, and I'm not writing off Stephen Sumter, but the way Raico Santana has performed here in this round, it's not impossible for him to add a point or more onto a possible win in this round.
He's thinking bonus points. There's the uppercut, maintaining a short distance so he can try and get back in. Short right hand, then steps back. Maybe waiting for him to apply it. Now the footwork. So that sets up the that's the press conference for the exchange that came after.
Raico Santana, he's landing. Not everything's landing because Sumter's doing some good defensive work, but he's languishing on the rope so much. Sumter's asking for trouble depending on what the referee's looking at.
Yeah, you can sit there and maybe feel like nothing's happening, but if you're not firing back, you are a candidate to be stopped. So in the team scoring realm, this is a little bit of a victory for Boston.
Yes.
It's going to be a win for Phoenix on the scorecards, but they've got the lead, and it's only going to be one.
Yeah, and Rico Santana, this was emblematic of that round. So much activity just like this. This was where the trip happened. That obviously was not a knockdown. But Rico Santana just, he wanted Sumter to be a little more offensive. He thought maybe he could land something cleaner instead of having Sumter shelling up on the ropes.
So Santana does his job, and arguably Sumter did his to keep it manageable, and Boston will maintain.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 14 by unanimous decision. Out of the Phoenix Fury, Rico Santana.
All right, so
The score,
Santana
Boston 9,
takes
Phoenix
care
6.
of business.
Round 15 at cruiserweight for Boston. It is Marquise Williams. For Phoenix, Charles Pugh.
So this fight's interesting because Pugh has certainly got a good chance to give them another point. Also, if you go back to round 3 where Quintera and De La Cruz fought, if that one, which went to Boston, was now, which could have easily gone to the Fury, we'd have a closer discussion.
Yeah, because Boston hasn't had the put away.
Right.
And so a string of victories. Charles Pugh, college football, defensive back at West Virginia, now owns the head trainer of Pugh Fitness in Cleveland. I call him the springboard because last year in week 2, it was a tight match with San Antonio. He's in the deciding match. It comes down to the final minute of the final fight. All of a sudden, he finds a little bit more when both fighters were gassed. And since that time, he went on to have a long winning streak in the TBL. He got his team the victory that night and became the leader of this team.
Yeah, I mean, he's been spectacular. 3 wins over Yuneski Gonzalez, who we saw this weekend, the 40-year-old marvel of team boxing. And yeah, he's a formidable guy. And Marquise Williams, in his debut in team boxing, draws him as an opponent. Now, you know, Williams is 18-5 as a pro himself outside of TBL, so he's an experienced fighter.
Good left hand by Williams got in.
And Williams trying to rip those left hooks on the inside against Pugh.
17 wins in a row in TBL.
Very impressive.
But fighting a guy here that giving him a tussle.
Yeah, and you know, Williams coming in off a long layoff because he hasn't fought. You know, he's only had one fight since 2017. He had a fight recently, but you know, he hasn't been as active as he would want to be, and that's a factor in this fight.
Pugh on the inside, waiting for the referee intervention. Get broken. He comes right back off the break. Veterans will try to time that off the break if they think they can get over on their opponent. Take a half step back and then surge, which is what Pugh did there.
You know, the best way to describe Pugh, I think, is a workman. That's what he is. He's a blue-collar worker who's going to keep working away in there and isn't going to look like the world killer all the time, but he's going to get the job done.
And he'll come straight forward.
Yeah.
He'll be pressing, and then you'll see now and then a barrage of hands.
Yes, right. He can throw combinations, yeah, for sure. A little short chopping right hand also by Pugh, and there it is.
Little shoulder roll that did not get the attention of the referee. Good move by the veteran. Who, me? So he had a few tricks down the stretch of this one. And he was a very dependable force for Phoenix in those money rounds, and they would put him in fights late.
Yeah, you could see why they do that. And here he could be buttressing a little bit of a potential comeback. What with Raiko Santana getting the job done in the last fight.
Could be the closest that Phoenix has been since
Ladies
midway
and
through
gentlemen,
the launch
winner
round.
of round 15 by unanimous decision. From the Phoenix Fury, Charles Pugh. The score, Boston 9, Phoenix 7. Our final middle round will be in the heavyweight division. Boston will send Kimdo Boykin as he will collide against Phoenix's Manuel Villalobos.
And to that point that you made earlier, Al, about the call that went to Boston, now we'd be in a tie match. So
Yeah, intriguing, huh? That was a very close match. Could have gone either way.
And good for Phoenix to claw back.
Yeah.
A lot of credit to that team.
It didn't look like they were going to do that as quickly as they have, though they certainly had favorable matchups coming up.
It's been a good middle for them. They've had 1 bonus points, and here we go. Let's load it up with the big boys. We haven't seen a 4-pointer yet.
Now in this fight, it's the debut for Boston, which we've seen more of from the Fury, with Boykin having his debut as a team boxing participant, former Olympic finalist. So he's 41 now, but he was at one time a renowned amateur. Villalobos, who's 0-3 in team boxing, hoping to get off the snide and get a win for his team, which would even things up. And he's banging away on the inside against Boykin.
Firing wide-angle shots, not getting cheated. There's a good jab and a straight right hand down the middle. He tightened it up there.
Yes, and he's ripping shots.
Oh, Villalobos is on a run here. Good sequence for the Phoenix fighter.
You know, Villalobos has losses to Samuel Clarkson and Nestor Santana, 2 big heavyweights we've seen perform very well this weekend. So he's had been with some good competition, and he's showing his willingness to shoot for a win here. And for Boykin, the first time out in team boxing, he's facing a lot of firepower.
There's that right hand that got in against that southpaw style. Minute to go in the round. Is Phoenix about to crawl within 1? And what a money round that will set up. That's the importance of this. Big shot. This could be Phoenix having a chance to get the lead. Villalobos trying to pour it on. He's got 30 seconds left to work. The big right hands. That's it. Phoenix goes in front with the 4-pointer. Villalobos dropping the TNT, and we have our first big 4-pointer of the night. And there is the man that does it.
Well, we're going to see how he did it. He was very aggressive throughout this round, and once Boykin got hurt on those ropes, overhand right really stunned him, and at this point, he was all but out on his feet. And Villalobos just continued the onslaught, the right hands and the hooks. Very, very good combination punching, and the referee steps in, and rightfully so. Boykin was really in some trouble there. He was very, very dazed. And what a trio of performances Phoenix has had in a row that have changed the complexion.
Round 16 is waved off by a referee in charge. Your winner by TKO victory, and 4 points being awarded to Phoenix's Manuel Villalobos.
All right, so Phoenix may have a lot of new fighters, but they've got something else new right now. The lead. The Phoenix Fury doing a terrific job. You see the scores at the end, getting 6 points at the end of the middle rounds. It has been a dynamic set of performances. The money rounds are next on TBL.
For Android devices, it is free download the Team Boxing League app on your Apple or Android devices. Keep up to date with all the latest news and information regarding Team Boxing League for Season 4, including when we are coming back here to Boston. And make sure you're a part of that. And before you leave here tonight at Roadrunner, pick up some Team Boxing League merchandise.
Well, we see sportsmanship in the TBA. Villalobos and Boykin embracing after Villalobos able to finish the job, and that's the sportsmanship. They were being fistic, and now they are talking with each other. Well, do we have something to be excited for coming down the stretch? Dave Bontempo and Al Bernstein. We are seeing a Phoenix team that took the lead, and, you know, it's funny. We're looking at this fight today, say, okay, a lot of inexperience for Phoenix. We don't know how this is going to turn out, and here they come. They're in front.
Well, it's interesting. They made their comeback on the shoulders of a couple of veterans that they have, but one newcomer in Camberas, and he showed us here how much power he has in getting a terrific knockdown here during a round that he won. He added a point to their total, and he began this big comeback for them really in the middle of the middle rounds, and that right hand was lethal and helped create that knockdown to give them an extra point. And so the young man, the 19-year-old, did it, but then Villalobos comes back after Pugh and Santana had set the table for him, and he really got Boykin in trouble, and would create our first 4-point fight of the night, enough to put the Fury ahead. And boy, we did not really see this coming, I think, in those middle rounds.
No, a big argument is always keep it going, because you can get the referee to make the final decision. And they had also almost gotten there with Tierra Brandt. So all those middle rounds long, Phoenix Fury, well named, and put a lot of pressure on Boston.
They really did, and were dangerously close, as you point out, to being farther ahead in this match.
What about the round to watch? Now the coaches and the juggling are very important. The coaches talk about who they want to put in certain situations. So what sticks out to you?
Well, we probably won't see Boykin back again. But, you know, it's interesting. We chose originally Raiko Santana against Steve Sumter. And I think that might be a good choice for a money round. That's round 18, because Santana will want to keep the momentum going for the Fury, and he's going to come right after Skylar Lacey and Stone have had a rematch. So that fight might be a key one to keep the momentum going for the Fury.
Okay, 8 matches to go, and we are ready to get to the money rounds. Excitement here. Phoenix came from way back. Phoenix is now in front, but Boston still has a lot of time to change that around. Let's get to these money rounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the money rounds. Stream every moment of TBL Season 4 live on Team Boxing League app, available on Apple TV 4K, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, as well as iPhone and Android devices. Don't miss a second of TBL Team Boxing League action. Round 17 begins in the heavyweight division. For the Boston Butchers, it is Skylar Lacey. Helming Phoenix is Dante Stone.
Well, it's still very close. You wonder, is now Skylar Lacey as a leader of the team feeling a little bit more, he wants to open up and try for more.
Yeah, and Stone, who, you know, when he was being interviewed, was talking about trying to make some adjustments, and that he and Skylar Lacey have some history together in any case, so he's a little familiar with him. Can he make the adjustments to do just a little bit better in this rematch round?
We're seeing him start something already, getting off first.
Yes, he didn't do that in the first one time.
And getting off first has prevented, by him doing that, has prevented Skylar Lacey from getting comfortable in the punching pocket.
Lacey, in the first round they fought, was able to box from the outside. She's still trying to do and land some occasional right hands in the jab. Stone is using his own jab much more in this round, though, than he did in the first one.
He knows that he has to get there first with it. And he's walking to Lacey, but jabbing his way in a little bit more.
Dante Stone has a bad habit of squaring himself up, and that to his opponent, and that's part of the reason why Lacey's been able to get the right hand in a little bit more.
Lacey is, you see that right hand in the holster. He wants to drop it. And you'll see jab, jab, jab. Think about the jab before boom.
And there he just tossed it out there.
Skylar Lacey has a style that's good for getting 1 point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dave. And for this format, it's really good because he can box well through a round and do more than enough in terms of volume and stay on the outside and not get hit very much. And there's a jab of Stone again. Sometimes it's been effective, but not as much as he would like, and he's not found a home for that straight left hand, Stone, yet, really, in these 2 rounds.
And after Stone adjusted by getting his jab out there first, Skylar Lacey has tried to adjust by moving, getting on the bicycle, and then he comes in from an angle. You see him circling, and then it's a straight run to you. Usually we see guys do that in an angle. That's a straight run from Skylar Lacey.
Yeah, he'll use the angle and then come straight forward, and he's doing a great job with that. Good big right by Lacey. That one was one of his best of the round.
And it comes at the end. So something to leave a good impression with the judges.
Lacey on the outside, landing that overhand, that right hand right near the end of the round. As you say, maybe leaving the impression. And Norman Stone in real time, trying to put the pressure on Lacey.
Yeah, he came out firing like that, a good adjustment, and then Lacey adjusted.
Round 17 by unanimous decision. From the Boston Butchers, Skylar Lacey. The score, Phoenix 11, Boston 10. Round 18 is brought to you by Climax Moonshine, fire number 32, known to bring the heat. Round 18 at light heavyweight for the Boston Butchers, it is Steven Sumter. For the Phoenix Fury, the TBL Most Valuable Fighter, Raiko Santana.
Okay, so they run this back again. Now with a little bit more pressure involved.
Yeah, if you're, the Boston side is hoping Steven Sumter can come up with something special here to create a little bit of an upset. Because heading into future fights coming up, Boston still has Camila Pinata, Rashidi Ellis, and Jaye Brown coming up. They've got some fighters that can put some wins in the column for them potentially, but this is one that they would love to steal in a way from Phoenix.
This is how this fits into the whole landscape. And sometimes when you're in the middle of a team that has momentum, that's when you see some of those steals. In the meantime, Santana saying, you're stealing nothing. Trying to open up and get some separation for his team.
Raiko Santana is what makes him good in this format is he is a volume puncher. And it really helps him win these rounds.
Just outwork opponents and shows good hand speed. Evades a shot and then scores.
Interesting, they're both veterans, and yet he and Sumter and Santana have never faced each other in team boxing before. And so far, Sumter has not helped himself by staying on the ropes, languishing there, blocking a lot of punches, yes, but not doing much offensive work and also taking some in the process.
Looks like a stamina issue there for Sumter, and gets a little bit of a breather, then comes back, but he's gravitating back to the ropes on his own. Referee taking a very close look.
Well, it would be disastrous for Boston to give up 4 points at this point.
Seeing how close the referee is looking, I mean, there's no real trouble yet, but you don't want for a barrage to suddenly end it, even if you're not hurt.
Yeah, precisely. And the way he's slumping on the ropes is not a great body language thing for the ref. And he's tired, there's no question about that. Not badly hurt, but he's taking power shots from Santana.
And if you're not defending yourself and you do look tired, that is an invitation for a stoppage. Some referees will, some referees won't. Clock winding down. Sumter is trying to run the clock out and only lose by one. Santana seeking the elusive bonus points. It looks like the clock is going to make that impossible. Still, a very nice performance by Raiko Santana.
Well, the world is his oyster right now. You know, he's unbeatable almost in team boxing. Is coming off a big upset as a pro, and he's feeling it in the ring here tonight in his first performance this season in the TBL. So right now, Raiko Santana is having himself a good time in the world of boxing.
We talked today about his elevated expectations now that you did this and you're coming back here. You've got some accomplishments, and that means you have some cachet.
Absolutely.
The action down.
Yeah,
Fighters hitting the mitts with their coaches.
Cardenas getting ready.
Fight
She'd like
fans,
to
the
create a
winner
win.
of round 18 by unanimous decision. From the Phoenix Fury, Raico Santana. The score, Phoenix 12, Boston 10. Round 19 at super welterweight for the Boston Butchers. It'll feature Jaye Brown. For the Phoenix Fury, Adrian Aragon.
So Phoenix with 9 of the last 11 points. And where does it land? It just what these teams were doing all last year. Down to the wire, no matter how they got there, traveled down to the wire indeed, as we've got 6 to go.
And this is a pivotal fight for Boston. You know, Jaye Brown was able to really pretty much control and dominate that round against Arian Aragon. But Aragon showed moments of competitiveness there. Can that blossom into him stealing, if you will, a win that maybe the Boston Butchers are thinking they should own?
And that they have to have now that we're getting close to the finish line.
It's interesting, Brown starting at this round just like he did the first one. Staying on the outside, not yet quite moving on the inside, and using his jab and finding the range. And then at a certain point in that last round, he was able to get on the inside and do great work.
It's been an interesting story for Boston, stringing wins together. And even though Phoenix would make a run here and there, the thought was, well, Boston is not being threatened yet. Phoenix is coming back. It is still Boston in control. And then one little set of fights turned it all around.
And here we're seeing it now on the inside, Brown doing well. There will be a time this season, I predict it, where Aragon is going to be a factor for Phoenix. He's going to get some wins. He's a good fighter, young fighter who is developing. And there'll be a time when he won't be in against a fighter like Brown, and he's going to pick up some wins for Phoenix Fury. But right now, he's still, even though he's fighting back well in this round, having trouble with the pressure of Brown.
Early in the season, you have to put fighters out there, get their feet wet, learn what it's about against the top fighters. It really teaches you a lot of things about that speed that you need to have.
Yeah, and Brown's doing a great job, but you can see Aragon, he's having some good moments in both rounds that he's had, more even in this round, although it's unlikely he's winning this round either, but it's a demonstration of what he's about. But Brown, very, very focused on getting that important win for Boston, and boy, the uppercut work by Brown on the inside. He's a really good inside fighter.
See how he turns into it and all the power coming through the hips. He may be trying for more than the decision. As he came inside and is unleashing here. But to the credit of Aragon, he keeps at least answering.
Absolutely, and no matter what Aragon does, it doesn't stop Brown from coming in, even though he's landing shots on the inside. This has been a great round. I mean, a fun round of boxing to watch, because Aragon has been extraordinarily competitive given the fact that he was in there against a better man. Here's some of the action. Both men on the inside doing great, great work, but that was most of the great work on the inside was done by Brown, but some by Aragon as well. And then that uppercut became a huge weapon for Brown, and he was able to use it consistently. That was a fun round of boxing, though.
Yeah, kind of like a little forecast of what we'll see from Aragon. And it looks like Brown taking care of business.
Of round 19 by unanimous decision. From the Boston Butchers, Jaye Brown. The score, Phoenix 12, Boston 11. Our next round. If you're watching these athletes give everything in the ring, ask yourself, How can you supplement like them? Balance of Nature is offering 35% off tonight only with code TEAM at balanceofnature.com. Round 20 at cruiserweight for Boston, it is Marquise Williams. For Phoenix, Charles Pugh.
All right, so we talked earlier about the Phoenix coaching staff always putting Charles Pugh in somewhat late, down to round 20 here, money rounds. All right, Amelia Moore has a special guest with us. Go ahead, Amelia.
Am I on? I'm down in the pit here with Manuel. What an incredible round. Closing out the middle rounds there. Tell us a little bit about what was going on. You guys were down on the scorecards, and then all of a sudden you just came through. What did you see, or did you go into that knowing that's what you were looking for?
Of course, you always go in looking for that knockout, trying to get your team with the 4 points. And we started off kind of slow. We were like at 6-7 points below at some point. When we got into the middle rounds, we ramped up those little points, and then that knockout put us 2 points ahead, which is the ultimate goal with that knockout.
Man, you got the Phoenix Fury hyped down here. I mean, they were going wild. What does that feel like, having all that energy just surging back at you? I mean, you put that out there. You created that.
It's a really nice feeling to go look at your team and see them all amped up cheering. And it's also a nice feeling because you know the next person is going up with that same energy.
What do you got? Prediction just to close this out before we finish out the fights tonight. You think the Phoenix is going to take it home, or the Boston Butchers?
I think we're going to take it. We're too excited, and we're keeping that winning rhythm. I think we'll take it. It's going to be tight, but we're going to take it.
There you have it, guys. Let's get us back into the ring, and thank you so much, man. It was amazing to watch you fight tonight.
Thank you. Have a nice one.
All right, thank you, Amelia. I really like to get the viewpoint of the fighter there that turned the fight around for Phoenix and set off that explosive energy for that team.
And in an important match here, Pugh kind of going back to work as he did in the last time he faced Williams. And Williams has just not found offense against Pugh. He's not been able to really land effectively and has taken some big punches.
So with 5 matches left, if Pugh is able to get this for Phoenix, then you're up 2 with 4 to go, and you know, 1 barring a knockout or knockdown would get you at least a draw. And if you get any bonus points here, well, they would be huge and critical now.
Yeah, and when you look ahead, there are 2 matches with Camila Panada and Rashidi Ellis for Boston that look like they could very well be wins, but 2 other fights that are very much in doubt. So it's interesting. And of course, you can't 100% predict in any case. But right now, Pugh is doing his part to help the Phoenix Fury keep the lead.
They went to the break, up 2. And it looks like they'll hit the halfway point, up 2. So at this moment, Villalobos' explosive knockout is holding up.
Well, Williams has not fought much in recent years, and coming back to this team boxing endeavor, he was hoping to regain what made him a good professional with a number of wins, but he's had a tough time here tonight.
So back and forth, you know, we talk about the juggling of lineups, the way the coaches have them. The big names are taking care of business. We saw J.A. Brown do it, and now it looks like we've seen Charles Pugh do it.
And there's that lead right hand that has been a very important weapon. It could have caused an extra point. I think Williams was close to going down there, but he did not. And that really would have helped the Phoenix Fury if they'd picked up an extra bonus point there.
Grim and determined on the benches as they wait for this call.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 20 by unanimous decision, from the Phoenix Fury, Charles Pugh. The score, Phoenix 13, Boston 11.
So Charles Pugh, you have 2. Phoenix, you have 2 in that 2-point lead that you took after the middle rounds. The home stretch of the money rounds is up next.
Make sure to download the official Team Boxing League app for free. Using your iPhone or Android devices, it is the Team Boxing League app for all things Season 4 of Team Boxing League. You can stream every single event and find out when we are coming back here to Boston. And you can enjoy a Boston Butcher Showdown. Right now, 13 for Phoenix, 11 for Boston. Still 4 more rounds to go.
We've got money rounds drama in Boston. Let's take it back inside for the final 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, round 21 will be in the super lightweight division for the Boston Butchers. It is Camila Panada. For Phoenix, Annette Agredano.
Such an interesting development since the knockout by Villalobos that all the chalk and all the favorites are winning everyone since then. So the coaches have lined up their fighters and they're coming through.
And this rematch, the first round did not go well for Agredano. We mentioned she talked to Amelia Bada coming back after that long period off. And Panada very active and in the thick of it in women's boxing in the lightweight division and active here in the team boxing league. She really dominated things. So can Agredano do something different this round?
So for Boston, if it goes 2-2, you'll lose by 2. You need to win 3 of these to capture into a draw or a power shot. So somebody in here has to step up, and Panada could be a candidate. Rashidi Ellis could be a candidate.
Yeah, he showed power against Lewis, who he's going to rematch with. There's a good right hook by Panada. And, you know, we saw Agredano very tired in the last round, didn't we? At a point where Panada was putting a lot of punches together. So we talk about stoppage possibilities. You know, if she got her into that posture again and kept reeling off punches, which Panada's capable of doing, might force the referee's hand. Well, right now, Agredano is trying very hard to attack.
Panada, good stiff jab, lands 2. Agredano keeps coming forward on her.
Yeah, Panada going to work, though, and starting to get some really clean shots in. And we got over a minute left to go, and Agredano holding on. You could easily see Panada being in a position to reel off a bunch of punches and put Agredano into some problems. We'll see.
Even if the referee intervenes on a standing 8 count, that counts as an extra point. All types of possibilities open up when you have a close matchup like we have here. Money rounds drama. Dave Bontempo and Al Bernstein with you. Amelia Moore at ringside with the interviews.
And right now, the 3-minute format and the team format really changes how Panada approaches this round. In other boxing, she might not be going for the
time, and she is again, like last time, trying to beat the clock.
And Agredano showing again so much heart, and for a woman that hasn't fought in 15 years, coming back and showing that much resilience and heart is actually pretty extraordinary. And Panatta, she's blowing a little bit, saying, hey, I threw a lot of punches in that round, and here's an example of it. The right hook getting in the straight left hand. That straight left hand right there is the best left that Panatta can throw. And Agredano, the 44-year-old, stood up to it, which is actually kind of extraordinary.
They left nothing on the table. They put it all out there.
Team Boxing League
Good
fans,
effort.
the winner of round 21 by unanimous decision from Boston, Camila Panatta. Our next round is brought to you by Serenity Springs Recovery Center, a place of recovery and self-discovery. At featherweight for Boston, Brooklyn Barwick. For Phoenix, Brenda Hernandez.
All right, a 1-point affair, 3 to go. Dave Bontempo, Al Bernstein, and Amelia Moore. We welcome you in. Take us through with us this exciting round number 22. What are you sensing down there?
Absolutely, gentlemen. So right now we're kind of down to the wire for the Boston Butchers, right? Brooklyn has to be able to step forward, and surprisingly, unlike her previous fight with Tierra Brandt, she's coming forward and actually boxing, not just trying to stay alive. So this is a competitive fight, and I think that alone is showing us that there's potential that she's not, she's throwing back. Otherwise, she would have been losing the round. So this is one of those tide turners. If she loses, now we're really getting into the deep thick of it, and the Boston Butchers absolutely need a knockout.
Is there a sense of that where you are? Like we have to get something big, and everybody talking that way?
1000%. Yeah, they need to hold the line. They need to have urgency right now. I mean, we are 3 fights. We're the third to last fight right now. They have to be pushing forward. They have to be winning these rounds decisively and not leaving it on the table for split decision or possible loss.
Going into this round, it looked like it could be a more stylistic favorable matchup for Barwick, but right now she's taking it from Hernandez Cardenas. I mean, Cardenas is landing a lot of overhand rights, and the punches she couldn't get in her last fight because of the distance she was facing. Cardenas is landing now against the shorter fighter.
Yeah,
she's adjusting
the Phoenix
nicely.
Fighters definitely looks like, yep, she's made the adjustment and definitely using her reach, a little bit more of a reach than Brooklyn has, using those power punches and just keeping that tempo and pressure, so that Brooklyn can't get anything back.
Seeing an overpowering move now by Cardenas, really muscling her way.
Strong, just a strong athlete.
Yeah, she's got a minute left to go in this round, Barwick, to try and take back control of, what has been mostly an onslaught from Cardenas in this round.
And will Cardenas think about more as she lands a good left hand and a right hand, and you can tell a little bounce in her step as Cardenas tries to open up with a left hand, booming right hand, and Cardenas walking her back. Good jab by Cardenas and trying to make a case now to the referee. Stop it and give us 4 if you can. Big right hand by Cardenas and another big
right
one.
hand.
Cardenas is a closing arguments here. Boy, she has stood tall for Phoenix one way or another. Has pointed Phoenix very close to victory. What a great second half of the round for her.
Absolutely, starting to put this steam on it, and Brooklyn being able to kind of weather that storm.
Yeah, looking at this action, Cardenas put her punches together extremely well, and against a shorter fighter, unlike against Brandy Robinson earlier tonight, she's able to get on the inside and land these punches. And a tough night for Brooklyn Barwick.
All right, so we wait for the final decision.
the winner of round 22 by unanimous decision, from the Phoenix Fury, Brenda Hernandez.
So Brenda Hernandez,
Our
pivotal
penultimate
victory.
money round will be
Thank you, Amelia Moore, for joining us in that round. It was a big one
Speedy Ellis.
for both
For
teams.
Phoenix, it is Taekwondo Lewis.
Welcome to Pressure Land, Rashidi Ellis.
Yeah, they very much need this. This is a must-win for Boston if they have any hopes of getting a tie, even before to send us into the overtime rounds.
In the last time that they fought with Ellis, we were commenting that very good fighter. He was stepping up a little bit more in that fight, trying for bonus points.
Yeah, and there were moments where he had Lewis in some trouble where it seemed like he could. You know, we talk about the great credentials that he has. He was a brilliant amateur. You see that there, and also as a professional has had so many great moments. The only thing he's missing is a world championship as a pro.
Glittering credentials indeed. Mr. Automatic for the 1 point throughout much of his TBL career. You know now from the style he is thinking for the team.
And let's remember, if he can create extra points for Boston, it puts them in a position not just to tie, but to potentially win in the final match with Francois and Kevin Quintero, which is likely to be a pretty close matchup.
Right hand here by Ellis. And so this is where you see what happened in earlier fights impacting the style of later fights. Regardless of how this turns out, we have seen Ellis trying for more. Against an opponent, of course, who knows he has to.
Yeah, and Lewis, and as we pointed out before, not a super experienced fighter in there against a man who is very experienced in Team Boxing League and in general as a pro, ranked as high as #2 in the world. So. Now, the intriguing thing is that while Rashidi Ellis is the perfect guy for Boston to have in there to get a win to keep them alive, he's not necessarily, especially at middleweight, the perfect guy to get extra bonus points for them. He's not a giant puncher at middleweight, and he would have to reel off a lot of great combinations to maybe get a stoppage here.
And so now you look at the coaching juggling that went into this. On the one hand, you're saying, I'm going to almost guarantee myself a point. And on the other hand, you're saying, I'm going to limit myself to a point because of how good it is for the team.
Yeah, maybe. And you know, he may still get him in trouble, but there's only seconds remaining, so it's unlikely extra bonus points are going to be involved.
So if you're on the Phoenix sidelines, you're saying, okay, we weathered the storm, only losing by 1 there. That's one that we didn't figure to get. But you held them. A good spirited effort by both fighters.
Yeah. Rashidi Ellis, 2 wins tonight. That's never happened before, right?
You have to go all the way back to the last time you fought.
Yeah, exactly, way back. There's you know, an indication of how busy he is always, both to the body and the head. And he really, it was an onslaught of punches. He didn't dominate the second time around against Lewis quite as much as the first time, but he certainly did way more than enough, we would think, to win the round.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 23 by unanimous decision, from the Boston Butchers, Rashidi Ellis. The score, Phoenix 14, Boston 13. Round 24. At lightweight for Boston, Abreu Francois. For Phoenix, Kevin Quintero.
tightest match of the year heads into the final regulation matchup, and then we would have overtime matches if it ends up tied.
Two men who ended up on the wrong side of things in their first fight. Hebrew Francois, didn't get the win over James Price, but fought very well. And so did Kevin Quintero against Alexi De La Cruz. You could have made a case for either one of them. So let's see how this one plays out.
Fluctuating possibilities. Rule number 1, stay on your feet. Rule number 2, then try to get a point for your team. Tie, we go to the best out of 3 fights.
Yeah, Francois would need to find a way to win this round, and if he can, that would be the case. Quintero being very aggressive on the inside, as is Francois.
So what a character-building moment for both. They both know it's at stake.
Yeah.
All the pressure's up there, all the teammates, the coaches, everybody reminding you, the TV, all the social media, all the chatter. But if you cross over that line and deliver in those circumstances, it is huge. It's something that could set you up for the rest of the year.
Yeah, big counter right hand by Quintero a moment ago. Francois has a good right as well. And what's happening is a lot of awkward action, but in the midst of it, each man is landing a few really good punches. Question is, who's landing the most and which ones will the judges like? Quintero coming forward. He's probably come forward a little more in this fight than Francois. Whether that means he's winning is another question. Good left hook by Quintero. And a right on the inside. Francois is 1-2 as a team boxing league performer, and 1-3 now after that early loss, and he really wants to put a win on this one for Boston. But Quintero's been very active in this round. Very active.
Quintero had done, because the look and the desperation, the thought coming in from Francois all the way. That had come from 2 states away.
That was a Superman punch, and that's what they call it in the MMA world. Wow, okay. even Quintero's laughing about that one.
Well, that's the quintessential definition of going for it.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Is it ever.
Where did he launch this punch from? Hello. He got it in, too.
He did get it in. Shockingly, it didn't knock Quintero down. But
so that counts.
Yeah.
That counts as the longest punch of the year. When we give out the awards, that is the longest punch of the year.
And you want to know something else? If he hadn't flown into Quintero, they might have called that a knockdown.
Wow.
I mean, because it did send him into the ropes, but because he flew in against him and knocked him against the ropes, it was not a knockdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 24 by unanimous decision, from the Phoenix Fury, Kevin Quintero.
How about that pressure? Phoenix started ahead by 2. They win it by 2. And what great performances by everybody who was supposed to win their matches. So, 15-13 by Phoenix. The turning point, and then the Phoenix Fury come all the way east, and they're going to come out of Beantown with a victory. We've got more straight ahead. Boom!
But Ray's going to announce the winners. He only comes in and does his thing. All right, guys. Star number 1, star number 2, star number 3.
Team Boxing League is brought to you by Balance of Nature. In boxing, consistency beats intensity. Balance of Nature supplements help you stay consistent with ingredients of whole food you can easily slot into your daily routine. Go to balanceofnature.com, use code TEAM, and start today. Well, somebody who started was one of our big hitters tonight, and this was the round that really turned it.
Manuel Villalobos, who had not won in three previous efforts in team boxing, got the biggest win he could get because it was a 4-point win for his team, and he created his first win in the TBL, and boy, was it a big one. And that was what really turned the pendulum here tonight to give Phoenix a lead and give them a chance to really win this match, which of course they did. He just was relentless and forced the referee to have to stop the fight, and it was an appropriate stoppage.
It was, and that is the moment of the night too, because they were trailing by 2, they went up by 2,
Yep.
They held the lead by 2. So even if he just gets a 1-point win there and you take it all the way down, they lose by a point. So what a moment, and let's take it back inside to Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, your final score, Phoenix 15, Boston 13. The Phoenix Fury victorious. Let's take a look at our 3 stars of the night. Our number 3 star from the Boston Butchers, super lightweight Camila Panetta. Our 2nd star of the night, Phoenix welterweight Joaquin Camberos. And your Balance of Nature first star of the night, Phoenix heavyweight Manuel Villalobos. And our round of the night belongs to round 19 between Jaye Brown and Ariana Aragon.
Coach Alex, are we on? Coach Alex, opening season, it was a very, very tight back and forth. I always feel like the Boston Butchers have some of the best talent, and one of the biggest problems is we do not get enough knockouts. So because of the knockout and the knockdown, it closed the gap on you guys.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach, and I told him the same thing. I told him the knockouts kind of put us behind, but we're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna keep fighting. We don't stop fighting. And yeah, we got a great team. We got a great team.
Fabulous team, great deep talent. What are the adjustments you think going ahead for your next bout?
We definitely gotta get a little bit aggressive, better in our defense. But I love these guys. We fight for each other. We fight for the city. And we're gonna win this year. This is nothing.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Coach Sonny, my 2 favorite teams, Phoenix and Boston, fighting each other.
Oh, yeah.
You guys always have, they always say Boston has great camaraderie. Sonny Gutierrez has some of the best energy. How do you pull this out of your team to come out just, it doesn't matter where you guys are at the bottom, you guys always rise. Phoenix, baby.
That's it. You know, I told you in the beginning, man, we're not here to blend in, we're here to stand out, and that's for sure. But, you know, I kind of knew in the beginning, you know, we were going to start off a little slow, the nerves and stuff, but we were going to pick it up at the end, so.
And that's exactly how it felt. It felt like there was a slow beginning. I was like, uh-oh, we've seen some shutouts in the last couple weeks with the other teams. I was a little nervous, and then all of a sudden it got very competitive. What was the conversation that you guys had in the middle rounds? Because, oh my gosh, all of a sudden you guys, I felt the energy kind of like, the heat in the room rose.
We talked to them, and we told them this is it. This is where you pick it up at, and some of the stars that we have are the ones that, you know, they made it happen. So congrats to them. So yeah.
1000%. And then we've got our star of the night, Manuel. We spoke to you earlier. You completely changed the tides for your team. Absolutely amazing. Was some of that conversation that was had in that middle round kind of boosted you?
Absolutely. Coaches know exactly how to get us going. They told us the middle rounds are exactly for that reason, to change the pace, to change the outcome of the whole night, and we came out and did that.
Amazing. Welcome to the team, my friend. It's been an absolute pleasure watching you fight. Anything you'd like to say for your hometown crowd?
Yeah, buddy. Once again, baby.
Hello, everyone at home. Thank you so much. I had something to prove. I think I did that tonight.
Great work. Dave, let's close this out at one of the closest fights that we've had in the last 2 weeks.
Thanks, Amelia. This has been quite a dramatic rundown. Great finish, the great moment in there. I'll tell you, Al, when it was 7-1, Phoenix could have said, well, this is not our night, but they didn't blend in. They stood out.
They did. And, you know, at the beginning of the evening, we talked about the 9 newcomers for the Phoenix Fury, 9 people making their debut on Team Boxing. One of them, Kevin Quintero, was the one who got the win, that cemented the win for the Phoenix Fury.
And what's unbelievable was you see that moment with Villalobos, and from that point, everything that you thought would happen in the money rounds, it's sort of a knockout that stood up.
Yeah, it really did. And Boston had their moments in the last, in the money rounds, where it looked like they might create some stoppages that would change things. Panada was a perfect example. Rashidi Ellis, they couldn't quite do it.
All right, a phenomenal TBL Week 2, and so much more is on the way. Team Boxing League is off next week for Easter, so our next matches are up on April 10th as the Houston Hitmen take on the NYC Attitude, defending champs, too. Then on Saturday, it's the Las Vegas Hustle versus the Philadelphia Smoke. We cap off the weekend on April 12th as the San Antonio Snipers take on the LA Elite. It all happens in 2 weeks only on TBL, Team Boxing League. Well, we had a terrific evening tonight. Phoenix down 7-1, and then some big moments to come all the way back. That was one of them, the knockdown in Villalobos as well. Thank you for joining us. For my pal, Al Bernstein, for Amelia Moore, for Kevin Cassidy, who joined us, for all the great people in the truck who did a terrific job tonight. This is Dave Bontempo saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you real soon, everybody, on TBL.